Hello and welcome to ThePrint. As you know, Indian merchandise exports are headed for a record high, a milestone rather, of $400 billion by the end of this fiscal. As with the release of the union budget, we've also seen a lot of duty concessions for our gems and jewelry sector as well as our electronics goods exports. So I'm here today with Mr. A Sakthivel, who is the president of the Federation of Indian Export Organizations. This is a body under the Commerce Ministry that represents our Indian entrepreneurs, our exporters in foreign markets, and also assists them. So, sir, thank you for joining us today. My first question, of course, is what is your initial reaction to the budget?
See, as we expected, the budget is going to be on the MSME sector as well as export sector. So both the sectors are well covered. So we feel that it is a more export-oriented growth budget.
Okay. And, you know, there were certain things on the FIEO's wish list, pre-budget wish list, certain schemes like the ECLGS scheme, which had helped a lot of exporters during the pandemic. You wanted sort of a one-year extension, and I think they've only extended to March 2023.
Yeah, so it's
so
good
that's good.
That's good for us because that's what we asked for. And also we asked this ECLGS scheme should be extended to hotel industry and other service industry. Exactly. So that she has done that. So because the hotel industry was very badly hit so for last 2 years. Now this will extension of ECLGS for the service and hotel industry will help the hotel industry to come up.
Right, because there were a lot of complaints also from the tourism industry that the last budget didn't really
it was
account.
not there,
Great. So also exporters, while we're seeing the figures are very encouraging, exporters are still, of course, as you know, plagued by logistical issues, high freight charges, container shortages. In, again, your FIEO pre-budget wish list, you had mentioned a PLI scheme to encourage domestic manufacturing of containers. We didn't really see a direct allusion to logistical challenges faced by exporters.
The thing is, they're not directly encourage the logistic or manufacturing of containers, but they're given this the PM Gati Shakti project, which they're going to develop 100 mega container stations. So definitely that will help us out to some extent. This is 7 engine of growth under the PM Gati. One of the things, infrastructure and also port facilities, that container manufacturing, everything comes under that. So long run, I think this will help us out.
Great. And also, if we can talk a little bit about the duty concessions given to one of our our two main sort of export engines, which is gems and jewelry and electronics.
And also to the steel scraps and steel sector.
And scraps. So, are you happy with those concessions?
Yes.
Could they have been a little
No, we are happy with that because already the cost of steel or cost of materials are gone up so much. So, this duty concession will definitely help all the sectors will come.
What about just for our electronic goods? We have heavy dependence on imports of components from China. This is probably going to give a lot of impetus.
Because the PLI scheme, they're focused more on electronic sector. So that will really help us out to manufacture what is lacking here, what's not available in India. This will encourage electronic sector to manufacture.
Right down to the SIM chips.
SIM chips and everything,
Right. And what about the midterm outlook for our exports? 2026 to 27, we're looking at $1 trillion.
See, the thing is, now our growth rate is in the upper side. Now, whatever we ask for the exporters, for the MSME sector, both has been considered by Honorable Finance Minister. And also we requested for a embellishment duty-free imports, which were there before the last budget. Now she has considered. So this will also help us for the not only apparel, leather, and also handicraft and alum sector to given this. So Government also focusing on export, and also this they are given this investment up to 31st 2024, 15%. So that will also encourage us to bring more investment here, to invest more money on this export sector.
Right.
So if you go through each budget announcement, it is focusing on MSME sector as well as the export sector. So definitely, and again they've talked about defense manufacturing. So they said that we will give 68% to defense manufacturers. So there also we will have an opportunity to exports, not only for the domestic, it will also. So every scheme what they have given, behind this there is a why the government aim is to encourage the export sector and manufacturing sector.
What about agri exports? I know that Nirmala Sitharaman spoke a lot about bringing chemical-free farming into that. She spoke a lot about other.
See, the agri exports, what they've given is they encourage the transporters of agri goods with this project, where the farmers finds difficult, and also this is going to create some selling points which will help the agri export. In marine export, of course, is aquaculture. She is given some scheme, so that will encourage the marine export also, even though it's a part of agriculture, but that scheme also will help us.
Do you wish there was more of an impetus given to agri exports in this budget?
Agri exports, I think they will consider separately, because agri export always need the transport subsidy. So I think that they will come in FTP maybe.
Right. That's one of my next questions actually, with the upcoming foreign trade policy. The current one is going to expire in March. What about your expectations for that? Are they, because that is a 5-year.
See, the 5-year period began. There again, government is very keen that to encourage exports. Even now, this if you see that in budget allocation, when you go through this, they are given this interest equalization scheme. They extended for one more year. So this all shows that FTP policy also will be focusing on the export growth. See, we are asked, there is a big concern about this EPGC scheme, whether it will continue or not. But here in this budget also she has clearly mentioned the capital goods which are not manufactured in India will be encouraged. So same thing in FTP also, it will continue, where we are not able to manufacture machinery or whatever the requirement we have. So that can be allowed in EPGC. So EPGC will not be stopped fully, but which is to encourage local manufacturers, they may stop the local goods which is available in India for the EPGC, but they will encourage the import of goods, import of capital goods where it's not available in India.
And what about, us reaching, or even if by the end of this fiscal, if we hit that $400 billion in merchandise exports goal, there's also a need to sort of market that overseas, or to sustain that growth. FIEO spoke a lot about that in their wish list as well, with regards to, certain concessions with overseas marketing of our products. We didn't see that in the budget. Maybe that was a long shot. What do you feel?
See, the thing is, what we are asked was in MA, marketing assistant. Though maybe in FTP it will be addressed. Okay. Because FTP policy always comes out with the MIA scheme. So we expect that that scheme will be addressed in FTP.
Okay, fair enough. And also there is a proposed, this is a little off the budget track, but there was a proposed districts as exports hub initiative that is expected to come in the upcoming FTP. Any thoughts on that? How that will work? They've given some broad contours of it.
Broad contours, it depends upon each district collector, or what you call commissioner or a district collector. In Tamil Nadu we call district collectors. The individual district collector takes some interest and he promotes export in that district, definitely it will happen.
They've allotted, I think, 10,000 crores.
So here I just want to tell central government, when they're selecting the district and also when they're talking with the state government, they just see that the district is identified by the central government, should be encouraged by the state government also for encourage the exports.
You don't want to clash.
Yeah. So unless otherwise it is a state and central works together in a district, because usually district is a state subject. So when an export comes, both the government should work together to encourage exports.
Okay. And lastly, we've seen India chasing a lot of FTAs. It's currently in talks with 5-6 countries. We thought that the UAE FTA would wrap up by the end of last year. Last month also, that's still, of course, at advanced stages. And then we have the UK FTA talks starting that have already kicked off. Do you hope that these FTAs sort of
see, the FTAs also is important for the export sector. And as per our Honorable Minister of Commerce, UAE will, anytime it will be signed, FTA with the UAE. And by April, May, UK FTA will be signed. He says it's mostly almost over, only few here and there. Then once the UK FTA is signed, then Europe also will follow.
But the Australia interim deal that was supposed to be signed on Christmas never happened.
See that again, this
of course these things take time.
Because in between also you have this corona crisis. So all the nations are affected by that. So their priority is to take care of the corona crisis than the other things. But CEPA with Australia is almost done. So it will be done anytime, they say. And also Canada and New Zealand also we expect the same. So at least one country starts it. See that actually the Australia, UK and Canada, all three are looking at each other. So
because they all want, they're all interested in our dairy sector as well.
So they will see what's signed by the India with the UK or so all three will happen very soon. I believe in that.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you, sir, for taking time out to speak to ThePrint.